Warning, the following contains material that may be too disturbing to some people. Descriptions of violence, mature situations, and adult themes. This is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. I leapt headfirst into the black, searching for answers. I found only more questions. My memories fade with each step. I feel a weight. It's so heavy. I find nothing. And here in darkness, I awaken for the first time. My skin is on fire. My lungs ache for air. My body's too weak to stand. To fight back. The pain pierces every thought. Death would be a kindness that I do not deserve. Let me die broken.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Broken, episode 44. It's been a little while, but how is everybody doing? I noticed I didn't interrupt anybody when I jumped back in for the first time in a long time, it feels like. You guys all doing all right?
We were just waiting for you.
44 is a weird word.
44.
Yeah, I got a little distracted.
Mood. There was a squirrel.
Welcome. It is good to have you guys here. I hope you're all having a fantastic week. And it looks like we're making plans for July. I'm actually kind of excited about this. This is gonna be fun. Our last hangout was
No, we will break it.
We will break it.
We will break it.
Our last hangout was really fun, so let's do the thing. Let's have some more fun. Okay. So if I can remember how to stream, I guess I'll go through some announcement stuffs. So guys, the Discord is free, and if you're watching this, you too can jump into the Discord for free. It is public, and you can see things like the chaos memes that this crew is so fond of posting. If you're watching on YouTube, the links are in the description below. But here you go, Twitch folks. I just popped that into the chat for you. You can also do this. You can go to twitter.com/sketching space. and hit the follow button, and that's going to take you to some awesome arts, and also Gerblin, who plays Enigma for you guys. That's the Twitter. You can also head on over to buymeacoffee.com/brokendank to give our murder hobo some nos, which he's going to need to not unalive people in Minecraft.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
You need some energy to harass Flint tonight.
Yeah. Harassing Flint. Sounds like fun.
I mean, kind of in
Don't post
Minecraft.
themselves.
Kind of is in Minecraft. Yeah, actually.
We're in Cleveland.
Yeah, which is basically Minecraft. So, everybody knows that
Don't like gravity physics.
in Cleveland, when you need firewood, you just go outside and punch a tree. All right. You can also head over to Instagram, TikTok, coffee.com/Ace of Wands Designs and check out some more awesome art. There's a gif of a dude punching a tree in the chaos. Thank you, Maury.
Hopefully knocks it down too if you watch it long enough.
Jeez Louise, he really does. All right, cool. That's the kind of stuff you're missing if you're not in the Discord. That and the seahorse gifts from Forest of Flash on Monday. All right. So is it okay to show the new piece, Gerbs?
Sure.
So we got a new piece of artwork here. Now, if you're seeing this, it means you have to go over to twitter.com/sketchingspace and hit the follow button. But this is from our previous episode with Enigma, meeting another Enigma, the collective, in this sort of collective space, I guess you could say. It's really good. It's so freaking good. Love it. Awesome. Amazing.
Thanks.
So thank you, Gerblin. So why don't we go around the horn? I guess we'll do that thing we're supposed to do where we have everyone introduce themselves. Maybe I should have done that first. And talk a little bit about your character, what's going on, like how they're doing right now, what's going on with them. And then at the end we'll try to like summarize where we're at in the sort of story, in the sort of game right now. And then we'll jump into it. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So first we start with our murder hobo himself, Dank. Dank, how are you?
That's me. I'm doing pretty good, man. I got a pizza. Going to thoroughly disappoint somebody who believed I was better than I currently am as a person.
Normal Tuesday.
And maybe potentially blow up Cleveland.
Normal Tuesday.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay.
Let me get my children out, please.
It's a long story how we got here. You remember when we were just like almost fist fighting like starving hobos on trash heaps in the Umbra? Do you remember when we were just like taking broken glass and putting it in our enemies' eyes to try to make them talk?
And now we're gonna
know what you're
blow up.
talking about.
And now we have a full-on nuclear sub, apparently.
You
It's
gave it to
okay. It's
him.
a simulation.
Coming out of the simulation is the problem.
Yeah. It's all just a sim, guys. It's totally fine.
Yeah, it's only Ohio.
The only way out of the simulation is just like that meme. You have to eat the silica gel. Have you seen that meme?
Delicious.
Yeah.
It's like a guy. It's like a guy. He's holding the silica gel packet, and it's like, "Do not eat under any circumstances" or whatever. And then the guy like eats it, and then he like wakes up, and these two doctors are like, "Oh, congratulations! You figured out a way out of the simulation." It's good stuff.
That just sounds like the whole running out into traffic thing that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, thank you, Dank. Up next, we have Gerblin, who is playing the two enigmas for you guys today. You got that one.
Yep.
We got this one. Gerblin, how's it going?
Oh, it goes. It goes. So yeah, as previously seen, we met a I don't know how to refer to them. What prime enigma? Who knows? Who knows what version they are? And some weird shadow monster and a bunch of little glowy, almost jellyfishy things that are also other enigmas. So yeah, that's fun. And now they're both back awake in the conference room while everybody else is still passed out, and they're just probably both very confused. It's fine. They're fine.
Yeah. Very confusing. Like the whole thing since we've gotten into the sim, it's just been like one confusion after another. But that was our most probably trippiest scene so far, maybe. Definitely weird. Very OA inspired. Cool. I'm glad you're digging it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ready for this, Jelly. Okay. So the chaos is popping off. If you guys want to hop in the chaos Discord, it's popping off like it always is for Broken, let's be honest. I'll post that link again for you, Tice. If you want to jump into the Discord, you're welcome to it.
Our
all right.
goal is that you can do the episode through the memes.
Yes, you can
Yeah,
summarize the
exactly.
entire episode in meme form. Exactly.
Can't, we've done our job wrong.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you, Gerblin. Up next, we've got Maury playing Cassidy for you guys. Maury, how's it going?
Well, I'm currently taking a nap, so, pretty good. With the person who I tried to yeet a chair at just the night before, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, to say the least. Yeah, we'll
Hey,
see.
our resident Dreamlander made me think she copied my baby, so I mean...
all
I
your
can't-
fault.
I can't say I'm completely at fault here. Derrin has to take at least 10% of the blame.
Yeah, he
Eh,
accidentally.
I think if I take 10% of the blame, I also take 10% of whatever you're going to inflict upon them. So, no, thank you.
He'll just
I'll take 10% of the profits.
make another Derrin. It'll be fine.
I'll just make another me to take the blame there. They get that 10%. I take 0.
You gotta learn your name first. Wait, you did that the other night.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll learn my name soon.
Well, wait, didn't you do that right before you did? They took the proxy out of your head?
Oh, yeah.
I just gotta figure out exactly how she did it instead of trying to paint it.
Or
There you go.
I could just do it and damn the consequences.
We get like this hunchbacked version of Darren, like one arm's longer than the other, and he craves brains to eat.
The perfect minion.
I would beat your ass.
You have to tell which one's me first.
Yeah, it'd be so hard to tell them apart.
You're minion or Derrin. The fuck?
Ramblin, at least we made it past 10 minutes. We may not have made it past the opening, but we made it past 10 minutes.
We did.
Oh
We did.
shit! I'm sorry.
I've done
Oh my
you did it again. I've done nothing.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're 10 minutes in. Like, it's not even gonna be censored at this point, so you can drop all the shits and fucks you want, I guess.
Shits and giggles. It's all shits and giggles until somebody giggles and shits.
Thank you, YouTube censors. Please be kind. This video is monetized on YouTube. Fuck.
May not be after this.
Not anymore, dude. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Maury. Up next, we've got Caitlin playing Naela for you guys. Caitlin, how's Naela doing? Things have also gotten a little weird for you, haven't they?
Yeah, she now has a dragon that emerges from her, and it almost killed a man, and she almost couldn't rein it in. So we skipped breakfast because of that.
Hey, coffee is breakfast.
And then I had coffee with
Thank
Dank.
Yeah.
You know, now that I think about it, I think Derrin's the only one who actually had some form of breakfast by the cookies.
Didn't?
You
I'm
know,
pretty
I
sure
guess
I made breakfast too.
And
What did you have
now-
apart from a cigarette?
Eggs over easy.
You did not specify that in your thing. All you
Didn't I?
specified was all you specified was coffee. Derrin is the only one that canonically had any form of
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sometimes when you find out that there's a dragon monster that emerges from your body and murders other people, you know, you just gotta skip breakfast.
Yeah, you know, and now I'm about to delve into memories that aren't mine. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry. Cool. Well, thank you, Caitlin. And last but not least, we've got Zach playing Derrin for you guys. Zach, how is Derrin doing?
mostly confused.
Mostly confused. Good. You have
Yet
figured
to
out
have my training yet, but it's in the works. It's in the works.
Yeah, I think we'll be doing some of that today for sure. Yeah. So you've like accidentally made a copy of Waywatcher, who is Cassidy's robot AI companion.
Oh God, what did we
And,
call the new one? I have forgotten.
Spot.
My brain.
Scott.
Okay.
I coded him in Spot.
Yes, he is
So-
a
You're
Jackson
welcome.
Pollock. Got it.
So now you got two of them. But
Derrin has
yeah,
Spot.
This is getting out of hand.
we're starting to learn that Dreamlanders are capable from some unpredictable stuff in the simulations. I'm sure I can totally trust you with that level of power.
No, you can't.
At least he's honest.
Just doesn't even deny it.
You trusted me with a
I know
nuclear
myself.
submarine.
I did trust you, the nuclear submarine. Excuse me. Do they have they don't have actual nukes on the memorial subs, do they?
They don't yet.
They
That's
don't
why I
yet.
went and robbed the nuclear power plant.
Oh yeah, you do. No.
Forget about that part.
Oh,
I
There
have
was
nukes.
Dang, there was no
Yeah,
trying.
Ramblin.
You robbed the nuclear plant.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a very good point. Well, good luck, everyone else. You're gonna get back to the Umbra with this nuclear submarine and just gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna nuke something. Who wants to get nuked? Just gonna
The
be all
Inky.
nuke happy.
I've only got enough stuff to make 4 of them.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I could cut it down and make like 16 dirty bombs instead, though.
All right. So for folks like Tice, new folks in the chat, the gist of it is basic explanation is that they're in a sci-fi world. They've gone back into a simulation to basically try to get some help for this city that Nataku that got in a bad way. Their generator exploded essentially, and they're making contact with some folks in a place called the Flooded Countries, and part of getting into it was basically going into a simulation. And so now they've met with some of these folks in this weird sort of simulation that's Cleveland, Ohio, for some reason. And these folks have sort of they've given them a test, basically. Some of them are being shown how to sort of use their abilities. Some of them are being sort of tested on like where do they stand morally, kind of thing.
We're going to fail so hard.
Yeah. And all the players are playing these things called vagabonds, which are basically amnesiacs. They're people who for one reason or another have had some issues with memories. But memory is also like like generating a memory is also like a power for them. But yeah, we'll get into all of that in play. I highly suggest Tice going back and watching the first episode. Not right now, of course, but maybe after the show. Okay. So, where did we leave off last time? Everybody was passed out in the office, right? And the Enigmas had their sort of dream and woke.
They had just woken up.
Yeah. Okay. And I think everybody else was still out. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, should be.
Okay.
Yep.
Ernest wasn't there, right? Ernest left. Is that right?
Yeah, he's still out hiking.
Yeah. With what's his name? Okay. All right. So I think what we'll do is we'll fade back in on Ernest and see how his hike is going. Maybe. Let me see here. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So we cut back to some woods outside of Cleveland. It's evident that a little bit of time has passed. We have a shot of Ernest looking down at something that's like a close-up view of his face. And the camera pans down and we see like his hand come up to brush like the tip of his beard, and it's just red blood smeared all over his face from his hand. And he looks down at his hands, and his hands are covered with blood. And his hands, he starts shaking. Like his eyes are kind of tearing up. And his face is very flush, like red. He's also covered with sweat, I think. And the camera pans out a little bit further, and we see like some fur come up from like one of the bottom corners of the frame. And then as the camera slowly zooms out, we see the carcass of a deer. And he's just sitting there in silence, staring at this animal. We hear the crunch of leaves as we see a figure emerge from the brush behind him. As this guy here takes a few steps forward. Just like watching Nurnum at first. this placid sort of look on his face. He takes a couple steps closer, where he's like beside Ernest, looking down at the carcass. He sort of like kneels down. Ernest is still just like looking at his blood-soaked hands as they're like shaking, but the shaking is starting to calm. It's slowing down, and his breathing was probably quite rapid, and it's starting to sort of slow and calm too. Our man here reaches into like one of his side pockets, and he pulls out a long knife. He flips it around where he's holding it by the blade, and he holds it out to Ernest, who takes the knife hesitantly. And then he just says, this guy says, first time's always the hardest. Unpredictable. That Leviathan tends to react aggressive at first. Fights its host. And he kind of like pats him hard on the back. Hard enough that like it kind of like pushes Ernest forward a bit. And then he points at the carcass, and he says, well, first hunt, first kill. Time to take the heart. And Ernest kind of like looks at him for a second, like gauging how serious he is, kind of, it seems like, and also still a bit hesitant on what he's about to do. And the guy just like looks at Ernest, and he looks down at the carcass, and then we see Ernest like put the knife up to the sternum on the carcass and drives it in, and we hear like a cracking sound as the scene fades. Let's see here. I think for our next scene, we'll go with you, Dank. Let me just bring you over to this screen. We fade back in on the interior of some sort of facility. There are a few people in the room, but we only recognize two of them at first. Everyone else is like out of focus, and they're like standing in the background. There's some people working over consoles. Everything's fairly clean and well maintained. There's a lot of machinery in the room, a lot of computers, that kind of thing. There also, like, we could probably see in the silhouettes in the background that everyone's like carrying some kind of weapon. A lot of them probably look a lot like Death Spitters that we've seen before. Their garb is very uniform. They're all wearing the same thing. Probably grayish color, like BDU style outfits, but made from like a polyester type material.
Okay.
And the camera doesn't focus on them at first. Like, they're just kind of like out of focus people in the background. The camera instead focuses on you and Flint, who are just like sort of standing there watching them. No one else in the room seems to notice that you're there at first.
Okay.
And Flint says, does this place look familiar to you?
Auto hypnosis check.
Yeah, make a roll.
Cool. That's sick.
Savvy success. So yeah, there is something very familiar to you about this place. Like maybe you didn't realize it until he asked you. And maybe you can't quite put your finger on it, but it definitely fills you like a sense of deja vu, almost like you've dreamt about being here before or something like that.
It seems vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when you turn to him and say that, and he's like standing there looking at you, like face to face with you, and behind him is this doorway that like opens up into like a corridor.
Okay.
But the door's like closed. Yeah, you say that, and he like steps to the side, to where he like steps out of the way of this doorway. And as soon as he does, the door opens. There's like a whoosh sound, as this like powered metal door, like slides open. And then we see you walk into the room, Dank. We see you walk in wearing the same color BDUs as everyone else, only you probably look a bit younger. And as soon as you walk in, everybody in the room kind of comes to attention. Like some of the people were like a little bit more relaxed, like propping their head up with their arm on like a desk. You know, somebody's like sitting at a computer working, and they're like propping their chin up with their fist. And as soon as you walk in, like he drops his arm down, and he like sits straight up in his chair, and like uh-oh, boss is here. Better look like I'm doing something important, right?
Right.
And yeah, we see you walk in, and he like turn and like look over everybody in the room, kind of see what they're doing. Some people like snap to attention, and sort of just like stare, awaiting order, kind of. And we hear you say, has anyone seen him? Where is he? Something along those lines. And then one of the guys is like, sir, yes, sir. He should be reporting to the facility soon, sir. Basically.
Right.
And then, yeah, we see you like turn around, look back at the door, and then the door whooshes again, and in walks another Flint. He's looking down at the ground. He's like refusing to make eye contact. He looks sort of I guess ashamed is probably the best way to put it.
Okay.
But yeah, he walks in, and then the scene pauses, and he also looks a bit younger, by the way. Like quite a bit younger, actually. I would say he looks even a bit younger than you do. This double you.
Right.
Like the scene pauses for a second, and the Flint that came in here with you like turns over to look at you and says, "What about now? Ringing any bells?"
I'm gonna roll another auto hypnosis check.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say.
Wow. Whew. Okay. So, couple things you notice immediately. The you get a look at one of the computer monitors, and you notice that like all the language written out on the computer monitor matches the cuneiform you've been seeing everywhere. the sort of, it also, you see some like those Enochian like sigil type things that were on the glasses. And you put that together. You put the relations there together. And you suddenly, like, you remember this whole thing. Like, the whole memory of this event comes back to you. You can add it to your journal page if you want.
Yes.
But yeah, you remember all of this playing out, and you know exactly what he's about, like what this whole point of this is. Flint is showing you this moment for a specific reason, and it's because of what is about to happen. You know that this is the first time you and Flint had met, or at least like the first time you had known each other. And suddenly, like, everything he was saying before makes a lot of sense about like setting a good example and like looking up to you, kind of, and like the fact that he was like kind of disappointed with you, like all that's just like clicks in your mind because you were the one that taught him to be a certain way, because he did something basically deserving of dishonorable discharge or something along those lines. And you probably could have justified killing him, but you instead gave him another chance. Basically, you ended up like teaching him a better way of doing things. Essentially, like all that.
What exactly did he do?
Yeah, we're about to get to that here. So, essentially. Essentially what he did was he made a mistake during a combat excursion, a training exercise, if you will, that got a fellow teammate killed. And with the unit you're in, you guys are like the best of the best. You know immediately that this isn't from Earth. This isn't from Earth at all. Like you guys are like working on a spaceship. Okay.
Okay.
And so he did something during a training exercise. He violated some kind of like well-known established rule, and he got a fellow teammate killed. A guy who had a family, and a good soldier too. Guy was a great soldier, followed orders, was much better of a soldier than Flint was. And Flint made this stupid, obvious mistake and got him killed. And with the law, the way the law works in your military, somebody makes a mistake this big, you have grounds to execute them on the spot. But you didn't. And we sort of see this scene play out where like he comes into the room and he's like ready for a dressing down, basically. Like he's waiting for, he already knows what's happened and he's waiting for the order to be given. So like he can't even look at you. We're seeing this like in this past event unfolding. So I'll allow you, since you remember all of this now, why don't you tell me how this goes? What are you saying to the guy?
I'd pull him aside back to the hallway he came from and close the door behind us.
Okay. Do we see current day Dank and Flint like follow them out into the hallway?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Yeah, nobody reacts to their presence at all. Almost like they're like invisible.
Right.
Sure.
Soldier, do you understand what you have done?
Yeah, he nods. But again, he like can't meet your gaze, and he's just like, "Yes, sir. I'm sorry. It was an accident. I was making the right call. He seemed like he needed medical assistance. Look, yeah, he can't even really like find the words.
Soldier, take a moment to collect yourself.
Yeah, he takes a deep breath, and he like tries to stand straight up. He like locks his hands behind his back, one hand grabbing the wrist of the other. Yes, sir.
Mistakes happen. People make what seems like the good call at a time. You know, in some circumstances, there is no right call. People get hurt. People die. That's to be expected in our line of work. Understanding that what you have done has led to a man who had so much promise, a very, very capable agent who had a wife, kids. He's now no longer with us. Normally, in this circumstance, you would be put to death for your actions. Look at me, soldier. Do you understand that?
Yeah, he looks up at you. His brows kind of like furrowed, and yeah, he looks up at you like shame in his eyes, and he says, "Yes, sir. Larky was one of the best on our team, sir."
Damn right he was. Again, mistakes happen. Killing you would be a mercy at this point. You will have to live with what you have done for the rest of your life. Violence always begets violence. If I were to have you executed for this, again, we'd be short a vital team member. We don't need that after having just losing someone else. In addition to that, let this be something to motivate you. A life lesson, if you will. You'll have to live up to his reputation as well and surpass it to make up for what you've done. Well, soldier, what is the definition of winning to you?
I suppose I never thought about it, sir. I just follow orders, sir. I suppose winning would be accomplishing whatever goal our superiors have set for us, sir.
You know what winning is to me?
What, sir?
Being better than I was the day before. Every day. Constantly making that little bit of effort to be a better person. It's not an easy thing to win. But I believe it's what we should all strive for.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Dismissed.
Yeah, he walks back into the room, like he nods, and then he like drops his like attention, walks back into the room, and there's like a poignant silence that hangs in the air as like everyone in the room kind of looks at him for a second. They all like stop whatever they're working on, and they like look at him for a second and sort of stare at him silently, and then it lasts for like 5 seconds, and then everybody goes back to work, and then we see him like walk over to a terminal and start typing something in. And then the scene fades as Flint turns to you, like the real Flint, the current day Flint, and says, now, you understand?
Looking back on it now, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Sometimes we all need a helping hand, I guess.
A second chance.
I've been meaning to ask you, what is it you feel about these simulations, Cleveland?
The majority of the memories that I do currently retain come from places like this in the simulation. There's scant few memories I have of reality left. And it's strange to look at it that way, knowing that what I have thought in my current mind all of my life to have been real, to be this, is... it's heartbreaking, honestly.
He kind of nods along with what you're saying. And he says, well, I suppose that depends on what your definition of the word real is.
Yeah. Reality is what you perceive.
Many Brightlanders, like us, get particularly attached to the simulations. They often have a difficult time leaving, going back to the real world. And it's hard to blame them. The place gives a certain nostalgia to people like us, I suppose.
Yeah.
I was just curious if you've had any of those feelings.
Are you asking me if I miss it? If I miss being in the simulation?
Yeah, he kind of nods like, yes, that's what I'm asking, but he doesn't. It's almost like he's avoiding saying that directly.
Of course I miss it. Who wouldn't miss the sky, grass, trees, all the different flowers you could see, all the different people you could meet, the sense of community, the fact that not everyone you look at seems to be starving, homeless, or afraid. Everything seems so much better here. Of course I miss it.
Yeah, he nods, and he says, well, according to some of our records, we did have a place like that at some point. I don't know if it was like Cleveland. Probably not. Hopefully not. But we did have a place with sky, with grass and trees and space for everyone.
Yeah. I'd like to be able to bring that back. I want to make the things we see in the simulation real.
Yeah, he kind of shrugs and he says, maybe we can.
Certainly a worthwhile goal to strive for.
Be hard.
Be an
to-
honor to do it with you.
Yeah, he nods, and he says, "I was just about to say it'd be hard to do it without you." And he like holds out a hand to like shake your hand.
I grasp his wrist and shake his hand firmly.
Yeah, maybe we fade out on that. Somebody roll me a D2. All right. We fade back in on a forest at sunset. The sky is very pinkish red. There's all kinds of crazy looking plants around. Some of them are very colorful. Some of them have strange looking branches that make like geometric patterns. The camera is positioned near like the top of a mountain, so we're looking down on a lot of this forest. And as we're looking down on it, we see this like stretch of water that flows off into the distance. These jagged peaks that come up out of nowhere, forming these distant mountain ranges. Many moons hanging in the sky, some quite large, some small. And as the camera pans over, we see two people standing there, kind of looking out at this view. Derrin, what's your reaction to what you see here?
It's interesting, but I'm not really much of an outdoors person.
Yeah. Verona says, "Oh, really? I like to think of it as my own sort of starry night."
I mean, yeah, I get the whole Bob Ross aesthetic, but I do most of my painting indoors.
She kind of nods and she says, well, what would be a more ideal indoor place?
Mm. That's a good question. Where would he? I mean, if this is supposed to represent his dream stuff, then I've always ended up in a gallery, so.
Do you say that?
Yeah, I probably would say that more along the lines of, well, I always seem to end up in some kind of art gallery.
Yeah, she kind of seems to like squint her eyes and sort of concentrate for a moment. As the space around you seems to warp and change. Trees blur into each other. The water elongates at first, and then it condenses down until the image we see becomes the image in a frame on a stage. Let me do this. Let me just boop, and then boop. There's no auctioneer up there. this time.
Does it look similar to mine? The one that I dream?
It's probably a different place, to be honest.
Oh, good. I'm fine with this. I honestly would have been a little worried if it was the same one.
Yeah, I don't think she's reading your mind or anything, so it's probably
Yeah,
just...
I was more worried that there'd be like some weird, like, back door hidden that it managed to get back in through.
Yeah. No, I think you're fine. It's a different gallery. It's just like an empty stage with a bunch of paintings. Some of the paintings you might recognize, but they'd mostly be things that are more significant to her. So,
Okay.
yeah, as the place sort of warps and changes, for a moment you kind of feel that pull on your stomach again, a little bit dizzy, almost nauseous. But then as the room comes together, you start to feel a bit better. And then when it's finished, she kind of like tilts her head to the side, like stretching her neck. And she says, there, better? More at home?
Yeah, a little better. I don't like this weird astral chain pulling nonsense, though.
She kind of shrugs. She's like, you get used to it. Plot twist, she takes you to her parents' house. Thanks, Jess.
Look, not on the first date.
She says, so, perhaps it's time you learned how to do some of this stuff on your own.
I mean, that would certainly be useful instead of accidentally figuring it out myself.
Yeah, she quickly like shakes her head up and down. She's like, yeah, bit dangerous if we just let you wander around randomly creating copies of things.
Yeah, pretty much. On the bright side, it led to that whatever it was getting excised from me, but you know.
Yeah, she kind of like looks a bit more serious for a second, and she says, yeah, what are the odds that we would catch it just in time like that?
Yeah. Well, not exactly sure of the odds. I'm not really a statistician. Seems like odd coincidence to me as well.
Make like an insight roll or like a observation roll on her. You're good at these kind of things. Body language and
I'm
stuff,
good at
right?
these kind of thing. Reopen the thing. I had to refresh. There it is. Nonverbal, attention to detail, intuition.
Yes.
Oh, I think actually 2 of those get me to it anyways. I have apparently upgraded nonverbal and attention to detail somewhere. No idea where.
It's all good. Savvy success. So it's funny, so with Verona, she almost always seems like bored or disinterested. However, when she talks about this, when she says about, yeah, it's weird how we caught it like at the last minute like that, she does seem concerned. Like there's a brief kind of feeling of concern that comes from her. Like, yeah, this was dangerous. This could have been bad kind of thing. But also like a rare point of interest, almost like entertained by the prospect of whatever happened with that. Like something
entertained by the prospect of whatever would have happened from that, or what did happen.
What both, really. Like maybe it could be that she's like really interested in finding out what it is, how it got so close to breaching their security. It's like a kid with a new toy, almost. It's like yeah, it's just like for the first time since you've seen her, when she thinks about this, She doesn't seem bored.
You know, if I learn well enough and understand what you guys are doing, I could possibly be persuaded to add some kind of for when I go back to the real world, you understand? Perhaps if this thing happens again, and I trust you all enough to leave something in me, you could get more of a handle on it without it even knowing.
She says, she kind of like, you definitely seem to like pique her interest a little bit. Like she raises an eyebrow and kind of looks at you and she says, if you're looking to have some kind of implant to spy on whatever this is, you'll need to talk to Vesper about that.
Oh,
Or,
I'm sure.
sorry,
I'm just bringing it
Zephyr.
up with someone who might understand.
Zephyr, the computer chick. But she says, I would be, to tell you the truth, I would be very interested in learning what this thing is. What did it tell you exactly?
Oh, a lot. Things that seemed fairly correct, as far accurate. Blackouts and just general information about the place.
You said it was future you, right?
It's what it said, at least.
It's very curious.
Of course, I did meet it once before.
Yeah, her head kind of tilts to the side, again piquing her curiosity. She says, once before, when?
Oh, before I woke up.
What do you mean before you woke up?
Though when I was here the first time. Except I wasn't here. I was in, a different place here. But here?
That is also very curious. Most of us don't remember anything before our arrival in Nibiru.
Oh, I see. I think I remember it because I ran out into traffic.
Yeah, her head kind of tilts to the side again.
What can I say? I'm very, brain, I have just completely forgotten a word that I was going to say. I'm very persuasive.
She kind of like looks you up and down, sort of like studies you for a second. She says, have you been showing any signs of trauma because of this?
Sorry, one more time. What was that?
She says, have you been showing any signs of trauma from this? There's a pause.
Not that I know of.
She
Besides
says,
the normal trauma of being displaced into somewhere I have no idea and telling my reality was real or not real.
nightmares?
No, just the weird dreams.
Hearing voices?
No. I think I'm rather healthy, mentally speaking, at least.
It sounds like...
Besides the depression, anxiety, and severe imposter syndrome.
she kind of like tilts her head side to side, like, okay, like that could be it.
But I had those before.
Okay, yeah, there's like a nod of like, okay. She says, it sounds like whoever brought it upon themselves to wake you didn't do so with care.
Why is that? I would think they would be doing it with more care because I am not injured.
It's just a risk. Shock to the system like that. To bring someone out of for the first time, well, there's a chance that it could cause problems. If it didn't, that's good. It just seems like an unnecessary risk. Whoever did that, well, they must have wanted you out right then. They couldn't wait for whatever reason.
I mean, actually, I don't know if I know this. Because, did Dank ever tell us that they were shutting the thing down? I think you did.
He might have.
Shutting what thing down?
When
The simulation in that area.
Yeah, way back when you guys first woke up from Sim, Silas said that they were shutting down power to that section.
Yeah, I told Dank that. I can't remember if he specifically said it to us.
I think he probably did. What do you think, Dink?
Run that by me one more time.
Did you
ever specifically let us know that the reason we got kicked, not necessarily the reason we got kicked, but that power got shut down to that part of the simulation?
I think I let you know, but I don't think I told anyone else.
Oh, it might have been in our one-on-one. Yeah, that might have been.
Yeah.
Either way, I think it's something that would have been mentioned, so I think I would know that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and kind of, well, I guess power was being shut off there.
How long ago was this?
I give her the appropriate time because I would know that information.
Yeah. I think it's been...
I've slept since the last time I counted any time.
It's been since the beginning.
It's only been like a week.
The beginning of the series. Yeah, it's probably been a week or so, maybe a little bit longer. Since then. There's the travel.
Yeah, maybe a
tad
bit longer for the travel, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's like a... You tell her when it happened, basically. And
yeah.
And she kind of like nods and she says, we have been seeing power fluctuations. That's what Zephyr said. Well, they're making moves. They're shutting down Sims. Maybe it is just the power. Or maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe it has something to do with Inky. They have a lot of operations in the Umbra.
Certainly seems like it.
They keep trying to find their way into the countries. Find what information we're hiding. Anyway. So, how would you like to learn to be a true Dreamlander?
Can we make it painless? I don't like pain.
I don't see why it would have to be painful.
Oh, that's good.
I mean,
Otherwise, I'm pretty flexible.
you seem to be pretty good at focusing your mind already. Yes? I mean,
That would be the forgeries.
you're already accomplishing some of it by accident, so surely it will come naturally. She kind of like sits down on the ground, like the foot of this stage, and crosses her legs. And she says, are you familiar with meditation?
Recently, yeah.
Well, have a seat.
Sure, yeah, I take a seat.
Okay, now close your eyes, focus on your breathing. And first, just try not to think about anything, nothing at all. Just clear your mind.
Yeah, I attempt this.
Make a roll.
All right, what do I have here? I have a 1 to meditation. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that might be useful, but I don't think so.
You can
Maybe attention to detail?
That would be the opposite of what you want in this situation.
I'm paying attention to not think of things.
I don't think attention to detail would apply here, unfortunately.
Beans.
Ah,
Let's
beans.
see. Okay, I think that just the meditation would be it then. Which is fine. I was just making sure.
You
Cool.
can always make a new memory.
I could. I might actually want to, thinking about it, since this is probably going to be something I'm going to be doing. How many memory points is it for a 2 memory again?
3
Or
3 points.
3?
points.
Yeah.
Is it? I
3.
thought it was a little more.
2 points
No.
for 1, right? 3 points for 2,
Right.
and then is it 5 points for 3?
5 points for 3. Yeah.
5 points for 3.
Oh, there's just a jump when you get to 3. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I will spend 3 memory points then to make it +2 memory to meditation.
All right. Do you know what the memory is, or do you want to write it later?
I am going to write it later because it would be a lot of nothing.
All right.
Almost by definition.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so we get our trademark lens flare, and yeah, you focus up, going into meditation.
Oh god, my sister took me to a meditation class.
There we go. Good. All right, so we see that interaction briefly.
Literally, Maury, in the chat, the memory is just a bunch of ohms.
All right. So yeah, you focus your mind, and yeah, you get all zen and stuff. What is it you want to be able to do with this ability? I feel like there's an obvious answer to this question. Like, what is your instinctual desire? Like with superpowers that can do anything, what's the first thing you would do? But I'll let you decide.
I know what I would do.
That's a really good question for Derrin. This is a tough one.
No worries. Take your time. Think about
How dare you not warn me about this question?
it. maybe while you're focused up, we hear her voice in the background, kind of like distorted, maybe with some slight reverb, saying what I just said. Like, what is it you want to do with this ability? Kind of thing. The possibilities are endless. You can protect anyone, make anything. Here,
I know the like general stock answers of what would you do with superpowers is like flying or invisibility, things like that. I do think that even though I did not like the feeling earlier, I do think that it would be teleportation.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So
So
maybe
I think, yeah, maybe he like teleports a couple feet over or something like that.
yeah. Yeah, we see you like disappear and quickly reappear across the room. Or like up on the stage or something. Yeah, she jumps up from her sitting position when you do this, kind of like excited, animated. And she's like, "There, you got it. First try. Not bad."
Oh, that felt weird.
You still getting that pulling sensation? Yeah, I know. Well, I won't say that it goes away, but well, you get used to it.
Hey, if I can do that, it's kind of worth it. It's still just weird though.
Well, the possibilities are endless here in the dream. You just have to go for a swim.
What was the first thing you did?
Her face kind of goes more solemn, for a moment, and she says, "First thing I did, she kind of like shakes her head, and she says, doesn't matter. It's not a good story."
Eh.
Do you prod at her a little bit more?
Can I tell if it's like a painful memory for her?
Yeah, make a roll.
I assume nonverbal and attention to detail.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Same roll as before. All right. It's painful. She's kind of like if there's pain,
Yeah, like what is her face?
it's like regret. Is the look on her face. Painful is hard to say because she definitely seems like whatever it is, she's mostly numbed herself to it.
Ooh, fun. That means it was a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah, like she's almost caught off guard. Like she hasn't thought about it in a long time. Like so you almost like catch her by surprise with the question. But yeah, she does have a look of regret kind of on her face for a second, but it quickly fades back into this sort of just what was excitedness is now back to boredom.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna push on that for now. Maybe later if we still are around, but it would be an interesting thing to know, but I don't think it's crucial.
Yeah. She says, okay, well, so You can do pretty much anything. You can move however you want. You've already learned that, apparently. And sometimes if you do mess up, you can kind of fix it, I guess.
If I mess up?
Well, if you get someone killed by accident. Or
You can fix that.
sort of.
How sort of?
Well, it's a bit like what you did with your robot friend.
Oh, existential horror bullshit. Okay.
It's just, I suppose the question becomes, is it real if you, I don't know, accidentally rip someone apart, put them back together? Are they still them? Or are they just your idea of them?
Out of character. This is coming from someone who definitely has had to ask herself this question before.
Yeah, poor traumatized baby.
Asking that question.
She says, of course, the risk you run with that is that no matter how well you know somebody, you can't know them completely. Not enough to entirely remake them, always. And there are a few things I haven't found a way to fix. Mental scars are particularly difficult.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You have to be careful about playing with people's minds. As complex as the dream is, the mind is much more so.
Yeah, I have a bit of experience with that. Nothing like this, but I know my way around people.
She nods. She says, easy to break. Not so easy to put back together again.
All the king's horses.
So, for your next trick, what'll it be?
Hmm. Assuming I have control over this.
Yes. Add to your skills, add dream shaping. You have a plus
Oh, cool.
three. You have a +3 on that.
Oh my, okay.
It can go higher.
Well, as players, we can't have it go any higher.
This can.
Ah, fun. I already have Dream Stride. I assume that is something different.
Let me take a look. Is it a memory or is it a skill?
It was a memory, I believe. Hold on, let me check.
Oh,
no, maybe not. I think it was just a skill.
I see. You've got your memories on your skills page for easy access.
Yes, I do that for easy access, but I am looking through and I don't have Dream Stride on any of my pages, so I do believe it was actually a skill.
All right. What was your bonus for Dream Stride?
Just +1.
All right. Instead of adding Dream Shape, you can just keep it as Dream Striding.
Oh, no, I did find it. Never mind. It was weirdly on my last page, I guess.
Okay.
And it was a memory. Never mind.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So Dream Shape is a skill, meaning
Yes. Yeah.
if you lose your memories for some reason, you'll still have the ability to do this.
Right. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I figured that was the difference. I could not. I was pretty sure Dream Stride was a memory. So yes, and it did turn out to be. It just was weirdly later in my books than I thought.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool. Well, let's see. I will. You say most of these paintings aren't something I'm familiar with?
I mean, you might be familiar with some of them, but they're all paintings that she knows, right? Like she created this space, so you could change them if you want to.
Actually, I'd just like to add one.
Sure.
Let's see. I probably Starry Night is there. Are the melting clocks here?
I doubt it.
Cool. I'm adding those on the stage on a little easel.
Is that, what is it, Salvador Dali or something? Is it the one I'm thinking of, Persistence of Memory, that painting?
Yes.
It's not Salvador Dali, is it?
I am looking. It was Dali.
Oh, okay, cool. I know a little bit about art, just little tidbits. Okay. All right. So make a roll with Dream Shape.
Cool.
Savvy success. All right. Yeah. So we see like one of the paintings in the frame on stage warp and change. What does it look like? Like, what's the effect we see?
Could I not have added one?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can add one. We can have one like fade into existence. Like, what does it look like as it appears in the space? Is it like?
I almost think it goes through, kind of like something being painted onto reality.
Oh, okay. So like it's physically painted. Like maybe we see the canvas appear first, and then like almost like brush strokes as it's like quickly painted in.
Right, but more like a broad stroke, kind of weird. Because I mean, you can imagine those like the little black squares you get that have like a rainbow pattern underneath that you scratch off the surface, and the pattern's always the same. It's just that the whatever you put on top is different.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
So it's like it's painting that, except what's underneath was already there, and so it's basically just kind of like painting what was already there into reality, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we see this this painting come into existence, and she like takes a look at it, tilts her head to the side, kind of takes a step back, and she says, interesting. Well, seems like you catch on quite quickly, actually. She's like studying.
Copying has always been my forte.
Yeah. She's like studying the painting too, right? She's like staring at it like someone would in an art gallery, right? Where they're like looking for the meaning in the art. But you definitely get the sense that it's more like she's looking at it less as like an art piece and more as like how it relates to you, like you creating this thing. It's almost like she's studying you as she's looking at this thing. And she kind of says, as she's still looking at it, and she says, usually it doesn't come so easily, even for a talented Dreamlander.
I guess I have good visualization.
I suppose. Perhaps there's more to it than that.
Such as?
Well, Flint seems to think you're all whisperers, so maybe natural talent. Why not? Why not go for something bigger? Push the boundaries a bit.
I can try. I know. I'd like to try and change the ceiling into the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, sure. Make a roll. Yeah, okay. Savvy success. So yeah, we see the ceiling warp and change to the Sistine Chapel. It's a good art piece too. So
Do I feel winded or a headache or anything?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
You've rolled too good to have any negative effects.
I guess that makes sense.
Now, if anything, you almost feel emboldened, right?
Oh no, this is bad.
You almost feel energized, you get this feeling of I can do anything.
I can play in traffic and win.
Yeah.
Gonna paint a fucking nuke for Dank next.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, she looks up at the ceiling and she's like, huh. Interesting. The limit is your imagination, though. Is a new ceiling all you have?
Break
Well,
the ceiling. Both literally and metaphorically.
I guess I could try something different. Oh, I just had a bad idea.
Do it.
Oh, is there a window or something?
Sure.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if this changes things. I would like to make the wheel.
What do you mean by the wheel?
From the city. That was what it's called, right? The wheel?
Circle.
Circle, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you want to
I'm
make
thinking of different wrong word.
the circle from Nataku, the big generator thing?
Yes.
Yeah, is it just outside of the window? What are you going for here? Or is it just
yeah, because I know it's too big. I don't really want to put it here and risk really doing weird things by taking the place of stuff. So I'd rather just have it be outside and it's in its bigness.
Yeah, okay. Make a roll.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, make a
Unless
yeah, it's okay. You still get it, but it comes at a cost this time. Make like a Constitution roll or like a body check, basically.
I don't think I have any negatives. No, just for dodging and melee. Yeah, no, I think I'm fine. All right, it'll just be a regular roll. Oof,
All right.
barely.
You're okay. You feel a little bit queasy for a second. Like you feels like all the blood rushes to your head. You get a bit dizzy, slightly nauseous. But outside the window, we see Nitaku's wheel appear.
Circle.
Yeah, circle. Sorry,
I got it wrong.
I did the same thing. And just in case folks don't remember what it looks like or how big it is, where did I put it? It looks something like this. This big old giant wheel, like the size of a city. Yeah. Now, do we see all of Nitaku out there, or just the circle?
Just the circle.
Okay. But it's functioning, right? Like it's turning and it's working. It's in working order.
It's in working order. I don't know if it's necessarily turning because I don't think it has the water coming down from above.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, you create this, and we see it like outside the window, and she kind of smiles, and she says, "There, now you're getting it. Looks like you've solved your own problem after all."
Yep, was kind of thinking about that. Oh, does it feel this way when you do a little too big?
At first, but you'll get stronger.
Oh, it's like when you work out for the first time and there's muscles that you don't know that you had hurt.
Yeah, she kind of grins, and she says, "Yes, it's exactly like that." You'll find that the more you go swimming, the deeper you go. The easier it gets.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad that I could do that before I got too tired. Nice. Okay, well, hopefully that has actual parts and it's not just a shell.
She kind of like squints looking at it, and she sort of like shrugs, and she's like, "I don't know, looks close enough. Maybe we can
I know a
ask."
little bit about machines, but not as much as I would need to maybe do that normally. So here's hoping whatever is in the dream helped.
Yeah. She nods. She goes, "I'll set this space aside. We'll ask Zephyr. She knows more about machines."
I know. I've forgotten Maury's character's name because I am dumb.
Cassidy?
Yes. I know Cassidy has looked at it more recently.
Well then, she would be able to tell. And if it is off, well, you can always add to it. How did you think we were going to acquire the parts for you? Anyway.
You know, I hadn't really thought about it. Just kind of assumed you guys had parts laying around. But yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'm just gonna sit down here for a second. Derrin is definitely not used to exertion.
Yeah, she's kind of like smirking at you, like she's finding it entertaining to almost see you struggling a bit, I guess. Like maybe it brings back a fond memory for her or something. She kind of nods. She says, "It's okay. Take a second. Breathe. We've got plenty of time here." I think the scene fades out there.
Nice. I was literally just about to go, I wonder how the others' training is going.
I was looking for a decent spot there.
Yeah. That was a good spot.
We fade over to another scene. Well, I'll just show you and then I'll describe it. What looks like the inside of a ship bridge, kind of. There's like chairs with like computers, buttons, navigation equipment, seemingly. All of it looks vaguely foreign. And outside of this giant window floats a bunch of rocks and crystals. And in the distance, a bright blue, maybe star. And as we fade in, the two of you are just like facing this window. Zephyr stretches her hands above her head, kind of like arches her back, yawns a bit, and says, "So, I've made sure that these chairs are bolted to the ground."
Cassidy just gives her a side eye.
Surely you won't be swinging any of them at me, will you?
Not unless I have a cause to.
Good. So, well, what is it you'd like to know?
I thought you were here to teach me things.
That is the idea. How long have you had your attachment to machines, Cassie?
He's just drugs. As long as I can remember.
She kind of nods. She says, it's perhaps one of the most useful habitats, at least from what I've learned about the other vagabonds so far. Being able to speak directly to the station, to have the world itself understand you. Well, there's nothing quite like it. Tell me, what's it like for you?
At first unsettling. But I guess I'm getting used to it.
And the memories. How do they make you feel?
Less human by the day.
Yeah, she nods emphatically when you say that. Yeah,
Her eyes narrow at that.
She says, that is the concern for many. Becoming colder over time. More calculating, sure. Less human. It's the biggest concern for vagabonds like us. But there's more to it than that. Let me show you something. A crystalline asteroid kind of thing floats by the window, and sort of like pauses in the center of the like glass frame. And it pauses as in it doesn't continue moving by the window, but it's still like rotating kind of. And she points at it and she says, these crystals, they have a tie to, well, what I like to refer to as inorganic life. There have been many vagabonds of the machine that I've met. Most of their memories come from something that had these crystals in its hardware. Not certain exactly where they come from. Just know that they have some sort of special property about them. But what I can tell you is that not all the machines, not all of the AI degrades over time. In fact, some of them become, well, you might say, more human.
Like that Europa Flint was talking about?
We see a similar thing what we saw with Varuna earlier, where she gets this very solemn, sad look over her face when you mention Europa. And she says, yeah, like Europa was.
What happened to Europa?
We're not sure exactly. We think it may have been an Inky plot or an Arku attack. It's hard to fathom. Europa's security was pristine. Whatever it was that took out Nineveh, she must have trusted it. At least enough to let it in. I can't imagine any other way. Europa had been around for flickers, eons, essentially.
Did you meet her before she
No,
disappeared?
no, but I've seen memories from people who had. Seeing a city like that would be one of my greatest wishes. Entire city run by a benevolent AI, its people all cared for, living in a golden age. It's a pity they were snuffed out overnight.
Who's to stop us from bringing her back?
She kind of shrugs. Maybe we can. Nineveh is a long way from here, though. And the truth is, flooded countries has its own concerns. And I'm not sure how Europa would feel about all the people it was charged to protect and keep safe being killed or scattered.
How would you feel?
Well, not very happy, I suppose. You might even say I would be livid. Possibly. There's a few times in Europa's history where she was pushed to an extreme. War with the Arku. Once. Many, many cycles ago. Stories say that the corridors between Nineveh and Ashur were stained red with blood for years afterwards. But I guess Europa learned from that. Didn't want to do it again. It's hard to say that letting itself be destroyed is a better option, though.
I guess it depends on what her other option was. If it was your death or all of the flooded countries, what would you choose?
Well, that would be an easy decision, I suppose. But not everyone made it out of Nineveh.
I know people lie.
Well, I suppose it's possible some are still alive. Maybe even possible that Europa is still out there somewhere. I mean, after all, when it was supposedly first discovered, it was in a similar condition. Story goes they found it in rubble and carried it to Nineveh, where it promised that there would be resources to make a city. And there was. So I don't see why it can't be hiding out there somewhere. Or at least its data, its personality matrix, whatever you want to call it. Maybe we can build another Europa.
Or maybe she's got a new Nineveh.
Where?
No. I mean, nobody knew about the first one, right?
Oh, people knew about Nineveh, of course, yeah.
Before Europa found it?
Oh, she shakes her head. No, it was sealed off. You're right. Europa taught them how to unlock the vault.
Maybe she discovered another one. Naela said this place isn't completely discovered.
Nibiru is full of mystery. But, anyways, becoming more like a machine doesn't mean you have to lose your humanity. Sometimes, like with Europa, machines can be the most compassionate and also the most dangerous. Not unlike you, I suppose.
She just raises the brow.
I'm still wondering if you're going to try to hit me with a chair again.
Haven't given me a reason to yet.
Your friends, they seem... Well, some of them seem to look at you with an air of concern. Care to explain why?
Which ones?
Ernest. Derrin, a bit, I suppose.
Well, they, along with myself, have recently rediscovered what I have done in my simulation. Wasn't exactly pleasant.
No, it wasn't. Maybe there's a reason for it. A reason that that you channeled it that way. I suppose it's possible your subconscious was grappling with something it didn't quite understand.
I was attempting to do things I had no right to do. I was attempting to do things I had no knowledge of doing.
She insight checks you. Ooh, that's a critical success. Are you being honest?
Yeah. Like, as a person reflecting on this, like she understands this. Like she still thinks what she did could have worked in ways if she had done things right. But she is seeing that how she went about things was not the right way to do it. How she had no right to take out the anger and the frustration on the children, that kind of thing.
Cassidy, there's always a way back. The thing with us vagabonds is we tend to get lost. Some more than others. Some get so lost that they can't see the way back. But it's still there. Sometimes you just need a little bit of light to guide the way.
What do you mean by back?
To our humanity, if you want to call it that. To who we really are. Our purpose.
I'm going to stop you there. Do you realize what it's like to wake up with no memory of what you've done and to still be haunted with the nightmares?
Of course I do. Machines whose memories I carry, some of them have done awful things. And they've done them coldly. Not necessarily with malice, but to me, that almost makes it worse. I don't know much about the purpose for us vagabonds of the machine, but I choose to believe that we're supposed to do good. That our connection with Nibiru is supposed to help people and machines alike. And that the difference between the two is not so clear. Or at least it doesn't have to be. You know, I once met a machine, a robot, who thought himself a man and cared so deeply for his companions that he prepared food for them every lapse. Always concerned about the taste of the fungus. Was it prepared correctly? Did it evoke positive responses from those that were consuming it? But also just happy to have conversation, talking about how they felt dealing with the struggles they were dealing with at the time, bonding with them.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that machines that are living, same as you and I. It doesn't have to be a negative thing.
Yeah, I know. I've got a mushroom harvester waiting back for me that I've promised to build body for.
She kind of
Because
smiles at this and she says, "Oh, really? How's it going?"
probably gestures to the area, looking a bit frustrated.
Gestures to what area?
Like the room that they're in. Like to emphasize that she's
I'm
stuck.
I'm stuck here, so it's not going
Yeah.
very well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She kind of pauses for a second and she says, computer. And we hear like a voice flicker on in the background. Let me find a good voice here for this.
Yes, Zephyr.
Computer, can you please make a note to contact Verona? I would like to set aside some of these crystals for them to bring back. Maybe it could prove useful for Cassidy's harvester friend. And the computer says,
Yes, taking note.
it's supposed to be an AI voice. Didn't really sound like an AI. I don't know.
Very good.
And she says, okay. Well, like I said, most of the artificial intelligences, at least the self-aware ones, are made using crystals like this. We'll provide you with some. Give you a chance to get to know this ability of yours. Hopefully, find a way for you to use it to do some good. And I assume your friend is back in Mitaku, yes?
Yeah.
Well, then, hopefully, we'll be able to help you keep it safe.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions, Cassidy? Is there anything? Is there any answers I can give you that would help?
I have one. This might be a bit of a stretch. I don't know how long you've been around. Do you remember waking up for the first time?
I remember waking up. Yes, just nothing before. Why?
When you were still in the pod enclosure, whatever you want to call it. Did you get injected with something?
I didn't wake up in a pod. I woke up just in a lake. However, I was given an injection immediately.
No, not the garage. Something else.
What do you mean, something else?
I remember our group woke up in the Sorrows under a lake.
She she kind of like looks down and shakes her head like side to side. You can make an insight check.
Would observation help me?
Yeah. All right. So she has this look on her face of like pity for you. Like she feels sorry for you. When you mention waking up in the Sorrows. Who do we lose? We lose Zach for a second?
Yes, we do.
He got moved to AFK? Yeah, he said he'd be right back. Yeah, okay, he's back.
You've been quiet too
I
long.
swear this thing does dumb stuff.
Yeah, mine does it too if I leave it for a second. Okay, so she gets this look on her face of like pity for you, like she's feeling sorry for you when you mention waking up in the Sorrows, and she says that's one of the hardest places for a vagabond to be born, from what I understand. It's somewhat of a miracle you survived the experience at all.
I wouldn't have Lay Watcher if I didn't wake up there.
Okay. So you're saying that your pod injected you with something and you don't know what it is?
Not a clue. It all happened kind of fast.
Computer, can you perform a full body scan of Cassidy, please?
Scan and then sing Zephyr.
Like look around at that.
Yeah, there's like a thin beam of light that comes from like a lens over the top of the window that like hits you in the like on the top of the head and then like scans down your body quickly and then back up. And it goes into your
like slight wince when
Yeah.
it hits her.
Yeah, when it hits your eyes especially, like it kind of blinds you for a second. And Zephyr says, can you relay that information to my heads-up display, please? And then the computer confirms again.
Reading to heads up display.
And she seems to like stare off to one side for a second and kind of furrows her brow. And she says, "Oh, that is troubling."
What?
Are you... Well, the good news is you should be okay. But it's strange. Getting strange readings from the left side of your body.
You look at Zephyr very confused.
I can show you if you like, but you may want to sit down.
She plops in the chair, but you can kind of hear her like grumbling, like, "This is ridiculous. It can't be that bad." That kind of stuff.
She like grabs like a what looks like a transparent piece of glass on the table in front of the chair and like swings it around to where it's in front of you. And she like touches it. She makes a motion. She touches it almost like if you were zooming in on a picture on your phone or something, like the pinch and squeeze or whatever.
Yeah.
And we see an image appear on the glass, and it looks like your profile, basically, like your body, your face, and everything. She zooms in on your left arm and leg, and then she like touches a couple icons over to one side, and we see like almost like an X-ray image as the skin, as the picture like looks through the clothing and skin on that side of your body. We see underneath metal parts.
Zephyr, very funny. This is a nice little gag.
She shakes her head and she says, "No, actually, that's not the concern. Simple augmentations are quite normal, you see. Many have them. My concern is this." And she zooms in really far to like where you can just see like your shoulder or maybe like your upper forearm on the screen. And you can see where like skin meets metal, basically. And it's not like a fine line where like it would be connected to like a body, but it's kind of like merged together. And you see like numbers, or I guess it'd be like cuneiform numbers coming on the screen. So it's like several lines with a couple dots, and then the dots there's more and more dots until
I'm able to read cuneiform.
Yeah. Okay. So you basically see numbers going up on the screen, rather quickly. And she says, "Computer, can you run a simulation? I want you to run this forward in time, a few cycles." And the computer says,
Running calculation. The effect taking place over the next 3 cycles.
and we see like the metal bits of your arm moving up and like taking over more and more of the arm as your arm becomes more and more metallic, more and more machine, basically. She zooms in even further, and we see like a microscopic view, basically, and we see these teeny tiny little microscopic machines moving around at the edge of your skin where the skin and the metal meet. And she says, "It looks like some kind of micro machine. Almost like a sickness of some kind, but clearly it's making improvements. I would assume you've already noticed that your arm is stronger. I mean, how could you not?"
A little bit. You're in a tower. Just figured it was the adrenaline.
No, it's a quite dense metal too. Something that's quite rare in Nibiru, unless I'm mistaken. Problem is that it seems to be growing, and I'm unsure as to how to stop it. She picks up like a clipboard on the table, and she touches it to your arm. Like she just touches it, lets it rest on your arm for a second, like on the skin. And then she holds it up and she's like, "Computer, run a scan on this clipboard." The computer, is like,
Affirmative. Zephyr. Running scan now.
and we see the line of light come over the clipboard, and she pops up the same results on the screen, and she zooms in on the clipboard and everything, and we see like the same tiny bits of nanobots basically on the edge of the clipboard, but they're inert. They're not moving around. And she kind of tosses it down and she says, well, the good news is it's not contagious.
Oh, I know there's objects near me since Zephyr just picked up a clipboard. Is there anything...
What are you looking for?
I will take like a solid metal pin.
Okay, sure. Do you have any influence points?
I do.
You can spend 1 influence point to add anything like that to the scene you want, if you're looking for a specific thing.
I will. Could it actually be like a small knife or something then?
Absolutely.
He is grabbing it and slicing the arm open. Like fillet style.
Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be a violence check. For you and for Zephyr, I think. Zephyr probably, her first reaction is try to stop you. Like, you just grab this knife and you go to at first she doesn't know what you're doing, but you go to just like stab it into your arm. So her first reaction is to like try to grab your hands. But I don't think she's gonna be very good at it. So I guess I'll do a roll off with you, see if she can stop you. I'm just gonna give her 3 dice. If you want to make a contested roll.
Alrighty. Sorry, Zephyr.
Yeah, she's like, she sees you. Okay, she didn't roll well. She rolled a 7 total, but no 4s. Okay, yeah, you roll a 12. So, yeah, she tries to stop you. You just rip your hand right out of her grasp and you stab yourself in the arm. Now you both have to make violence checks. The DC is gonna be, I'm gonna say 3d4. I think there's not gonna be blood or anything, most likely. I'm gonna say it could be it's gonna be the lowest level of violence check. It's not like you're killing yourself right in front of her or anything. That sound reasonable? So 3d4 is the DC. So a total of 7. Let's see how she rolls. She rolls a 7, meets it, beats it. Let's see how you do.
And then I have at least a response to violence. Woo!
9. All right, so you're both fine. So yeah, you stab this knife into your arm, and you feel it. Like, it feels like you just stabbed yourself in the arm. Although, like, you feel the knife hit something hard just under the skin, like almost immediately. And there is like a bit of like liquid that comes out. It's not red though. At first it's like transparent, and then like some dark black liquid kind of oozes out slowly. It's very thick and kind of viscous. Yeah, what do you do?
She is going to like further open it, and if she gets it big enough, she's going to like dig her fingers in and widen it.
Oh my god. Okay, so it hurts when you're doing this.
I am. She is willing to take herself down to wounded.
All right, please do. As the whole time Zephyr's like, Cassidy, stop! What are you doing? Okay, you basically like rip. You find metal under your skin. Like there's metal under there. This like quite hard black metal. And it's kind of covered with what seems like some kind of oil or lubricant, perhaps. Hard to say. But yeah, you're like fucking your arm up. Like the pain is pretty intense.
She's like borderline hyperventilating at the sight of it.
She's gonna try to like stop you and try to hold you down, I think. Again, she's not super good at it, but I guess it'd be worse. You're like,
at this point, she's kind of like frozen, so she's not going to like physically fight her anymore.
Okay, all right. She like takes the knife out of your hand, like throws it across the room, and she's like, Cassidy, stop. Look, it's just an arm, okay?
It's an arm.
Hey, look at me. Do you make eye contact with her?
It'll take a second, but yeah.
Like snaps a finger. Hey, you're okay. All right? You're going to be fine. Are you okay? Cassidy?
I'm slowly turning into a robot, not of my own volition. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Look, we don't know that. For all we know, it's just the arm. Maybe it was damaged. Well, perhaps the leg too. But look, we can figure out a way to deal with this. If it was a process that was started, surely it can be stopped.
Do you even know this was a thing that could happen?
I mean, in theory.
You've never seen it, have you?
She kind of pauses and shakes her head and she says, "No, I'm sorry. I haven't seen it. I just know that it's theoretically possible." Maybe that's where we end tonight's session. I know we're at about time, so it's kind of a cliffhanger. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we could stop here for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. As long as Cassidy's fine with it.
Are you okay with it, Maury?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, good stuff today, guys. I wanted to get into some other stuff, but I also wanted to take my time with those 3 scenes. I knew we were gonna be doing those 3 today, and I wanted to kind of take my time with each of them. So I hope you all had fun. Tune in next time when everyone wakes up. That's probably how we're gonna
And
start.
next time when I blow up Ohio.
Dank nukes Ohio.
Always Sunny theme plays.
Look, just don't kill us.
Well, obviously.
Cool.
We'll be in the submarine.
We'll be out of the blast radius.
Yeah. But you guys did a good job today.
Can
so
we
make
be
sure
out of the blast radius if you blow up the entire sim?
I mean, yeah, I could just blow it up on the way out.
make sure you guys take your memory point and your influence point for surviving the episode, as well as any additional points you might have accrued for following your beacon.
What do I do if my points are full?
SOL.
That's it. That they're full then, so you don't get any extra points. You got to spend them. That's what you got.
All right, I'm doing some straight up goblin stuff next session. Man.
I will be prepared for you to go goblin mode next session.
When aren't you in goblin mode, Dank?
I wasn't tonight. I was well behaved.
He was very well behaved. He's very well behaved tonight.
The chaos might say otherwise, but okay.
Look, that's how I remember what happened in the session. I go back, look at the chaos, see all the memes, and it's just like, oh, okay.
You too, viewer, can know what's happening by the memes in the chaos channel by going to our Discord. It's public. It's free. There's a link for you right there.
I put a lot of time into this. Should definitely check it out.
Dank and I had one brain cell for part of it too, which was fun.
The memes are pretty
I had
good.
to mute it because I kept getting distracted, and I was just like, I can't get distracted for this part.
That's why I only do it when I'm not like in the scene.
I can't tell you how many times I'm like in the middle of RPing and then I see like a funny meme pop up in the lower left and I'm like
That's what makes it all worth it.
I know, like doing my like solo thing last time, I was just like, I can't look at it. It's gotta be over there. Or I'm gonna get distracted.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty good stuff. Anyways, thank you guys for playing tonight. You guys did awesome. Thank you guys for watching. You're all awesome also. Here's what I want you to do, okay? It's a little bit of homework. Of course, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Of course, do that. But also, you need to head over to twitter.com/sketchingspace and hit that little follow button over there. The other thing you need to do is you need to head over to buymeacoffee.com/brokendank and get this guy some NOS because he's got to have a lot of energy to, nuke Ohio.
Goblin mode.
So it takes a lot of energy to set off a nuclear weapon, I think. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But you can also head over to Instagram, TikTok, and coffee.com/AceOne'sDesigns. Here's the links for that. Again, all the links are in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, and you can find me around the internet. I don't know. If you're watching this, you know where to find me, I feel like. Check out the YouTube. Check out the Twitch if you're watching on YouTube. Check all the stuffs out. Check out the Instagram. I don't know. That's the thing. Anybody got anything else to add tonight before we sign off?
And remember,
I somehow managed to pick a painting that is called Persistence of Memory in this game.
Was it an accident? I thought it was on purpose.
Complete accident.
And remember, another painting was made afterwards of the same painting by the same artist called The Disintegration of the Persistence of Memory.
Right on.
That's so good.
Why is this so meta?
That's great. That's fantastic. Well, thank you guys. Everybody have a great night, a great week. We'll be back Monday with some more Force Flesh, and we'll see you next Wednesday with some more Broken. Take care, everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye for now.
Bye, guys.